Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
morning. Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome to talk show. We're going to be going through some of our stories, some of your stories, and we're going to be talking about where is God on Monday. We're going to see some lighthearted banter. We're going to hear from different people throughout our church. And this morning, I am joined by Ruben, by Dee, and Bianca. Welcome. Excited to hear from you guys, to hear your stories. Dee, tell us a little bit. What's your bubble like at the moment?
Our bubble. Well, our bubble, we only have 4 people in our bubble. Me, Mark, and the girls. In our bubble, we have been doing lots and lots of walking and exercise to get out and get some fresh air because things get a little bit crazy. And also in our bubble, we've been doing lots of crafts and school-like activity sheets, and yeah, it's been really good in our bubble for the most part. But yeah, every day, we just take every day as it comes.
That's cool. This morning I made pancakes for the boys, but I'm a lazy dad, right? So I make it out of those shaker things, and I realized at the end that if I cut it in half, it looks like an elephant. Have you seen those crafty things? So I saw my little kid, my oldest, was running around with this little elephant thing, and he goes, "Here, Mum, catch," and stomped her on the nose with it. So that's my morning already. Ruben, who is in your bubble?
Yeah, so we've got Mum and I in my bubble, and also the cat. She plays a big role in my bubble.
What's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Ebony. She's Burmese, about 5 years old now. I'm probably way off on that, but yeah, no, she's great. She'll probably join me here on the desk at some point soon. I'm keeping an eye out, but she's yeah, the cat will definitely come and interrupt us at some point today. She's good fun.
Yeah. This morning, Ebony, and we're likely to see from her this morning. Bianca, you're like me. You live out in the country. I'm in Waitoki. You're in Puhoi. Tell us, what's life like with a slightly more spacious bubble?
We just absolutely love being out in the country and having space around us. We've always appreciated the place, but even more now during this lockdown period. We don't see many people here, so even when we go down for a walk or stroll down the road, we see the same repetitive things, which is trees and grass and sheep and cow. And the children love calling out the cows and the sheep every time they see it. But just recently, we were lucky enough that one of our neighbors put a teddy bear out on display, and the kids love walking down the road to see that one little teddy bear for us. So we've enjoyed that. And having Billy with me obviously is pretty amazing, although he says he needs to do a lot of work. But yeah, it's good to have him here, and every time life gets a little bit too much, I ask him for some help and then go for a walk or just lie in my bed and have a bit of a break, healthy break from the children.
The break from the kids. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I've actually got my office, but it's not even in my house. Like, we've had to separate completely for healthy breaks and healthy work time. That's so cool.
It's definitely good having a separate area for work and house and stuff.
Chances are my kids will show up at some point and say good day to you all as well. Or maybe the horse might show up. That's country living. We have 3 horses here. They're not ours, they're our landlords. But yeah, we have 3 horses and a bunch of sheep. Yeah, man, it's the lifestyle. It's awesome. We get woken up by the horse neighing out our window rather than car horns and early on their way to work.
It's been good though. There hasn't been too many cars, but what I like about, because we live on a flat in Orewa, so we hear the waves. So we don't hear horses, but we hear waves, and we're lucky enough to walk to the beach.
But yeah, how good are the roads at the moment? I've been walking down to the beach most days, and I mean, like the first day I was on my bike, and I was just weaving down the middle of the 70k road through Hatfield. Like, there's just no one out and about. It's great. Like, I'm loving that.
I know. I even took a photo on Centerway. I had the girls stand in the middle of the road and took a photo of them because there were no cars or anything coming, and it was kind of cool.
The photos of like Spaghetti Junction with no cars in it, pretty crazy. Yeah, there's some of those going around the internet of like peak hour Auckland traffic, and there's just like 2 cars there. There's just no one about. which is cool to see. Everyone's doing their part.
Yeah.
And you are seeing more people walking though, which is cool. You see more families together walking out and getting out bike rides together, and that's been kind of fun to see.
Yeah, it is. It's been really cool. I can say it's almost been a blessing as a family that we've done more things together, and we've done them at home. Often we would leave home to go and do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to look on that bright side. Dee, you mentioned that you do. You took a photo of the girls in the middle of the road. We see you a lot on Facebook, on the stories, and sharing your daily life and what's going on with you guys. Can you give us your top 5 tips of ways people can stave off boredom at home?
I think the number one thing is to have a plan, especially with kids. I mean, you don't have to have it all like written down, and in my head I just kind of say, I've gotta do breakfast, gotta do lunch, gotta do dinner, what are we gonna do in between? And so I just kind of have a plan, and then that way you have something to look forward to for the kids especially. So if you say, hey, tomorrow we're gonna do this, I don't do that personally, because then my girls will ask me nonstop, when are we doing that? When are we doing that? And then it'll be like a million questions, until the actual time comes to do it. So in my head, I have like a plan that gives me something to look forward to and something to work towards. The second thing I would say is to actually get out and do something active to stop the boredom. I always turn everything into a game for the girls. They actually don't think that they're exercising, but I make them, run around and do all these different things. And sometimes I'll throw like squats in there, or, make them do lunges and, other kind of bear crawls and stuff like that. And so doing fun stuff like that helps them to get their energy out, and also helps the boredom to kind of, it'll get to a certain peak where there's like too much tension in the room with the girls. And so then they need to kind of just let out. And so making sure that we're getting that exercise and fresh air is really a big part of it. And also starting a long-term project. I don't know, whether you're an adult or a kid, I actually brought them here. Look, we're making all of these pom-poms. So we're gonna make a whole pom-pom chandelier thing that I saw on Pinterest. That's my 4th thing, is Pinterest is your best friend right now. But yeah, so these things take like forever to make. And so we're making a whole bunch of pom-poms, then we're gonna make a chandelier and then stick it up in the girls' room. And so start some kind of longish term project for your kids.
You know what you're saying about not promising things for the kids, because then they'll be non-stop asking for it the next day. I think my mum needs to hear that, because she promised me pizza the next day, and man, I was so keen for that pizza, and luckily it came through. I think we might hear a little bit more about that later, but man, I was really looking forward to that pizza. I would have been quite disappointed if it didn't happen.
You guys have the best pizza though at your house.
I'm telling you, it was good.
And your mom introduced me to putting kumara on pizza. That was pretty.
It's pretty next level.
Nice.
It's next level, but it's we might hear a bit more about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, and I don't know. The last thing is just change it up, because the kids, with kids, they're always, if you stick to the same thing over and over again, then they get bored easily. So as long as we're changing it up, doing different things, I think that helps with boredom, especially, and even as adults. If we just do the same thing every single day, then it's not gonna.
Engaging different parts of the brain, engaging the creativity and engage the learning sides and the physical and active sides. I mean, I was looking yesterday. You took long term. I was looking at one of the challenges going on at the moment is the 100 burpees a day exercise one. And I was like, oh, I should do that. I'd be ripped after 3 weeks. And then I went, nah, it's 100 burpees. That's too much for me. Maybe 10. But those are just hugely awesome ideas and really important, I think, in these times, to break down the 4 walls and to get outside and to do different things and to be creative and to figure out ways that you can engage with the family and with others and stuff. Bianca and Dee, you mentioned about going out and seeing the teddy bear hunt. You guys have done the teddy bear hunt?
Yeah, we have.
You got up to the how many have you managed to find?
Usually we walk to the beach, and so there's only maybe like 10 to 20 along that walk. But the other day we actually walked through the streets and we counted, and we actually went up to Hatfields and kind of came down Old North Road.
Wow.
And we counted 85 or 86 bears or something. But
That's
there was a website where you can track like where people are registering where they've seen them. I'm going to try and see how many there are, but like there's a website for tracking it, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to have a quick look, but like
I think we stuck one in our window, and I think Mark said, somebody's outside taking a photo. I said, oh, they're probably taking a photo of our bear in the window.
Yeah. My uncle down in South Island, he's put a dragon in his window because he didn't have a teddy bear, so he's put a little dragon, and it identifies as a teddy bear, so that's good.
Yeah, we have it's not really a teddy bear. Our teddy bears are all light colored, and you couldn't really see it we're like all the way down the end of a driveway. So ours was like this bright colored thing. I don't even know what it is. A rainbow unicorn, but not really a unicorn. It's mixed with a bear and a chipmunk. I don't even know what it is, though.
For those of you who don't know, the Teddy Bear Hunt is an initiative sparked up by who knows what, doing who knows when. But during this isolation period, putting a teddy bear in your window or at the end of your driveway on a letterbox for kids and stuff to spot when they're out and about and going for their daily walks. We're actually going to throw up a photo of from Stephen and Judith Pierce, who have been partaking in the Teddy Bear Challenge. It's really cool. I'm sure there's many more of you guys who have been taking part in this sort of challenge and other challenge. And that reminds us that we really want to engage with you guys and hear your stories. We want to hear what you're doing and what you're seeing. And so you can get in contact with us by emailing us your stories at orewabaptist.org.nz, and we can share those each week. We want to see your pictures and what you're up to and what you're hearing about. We also know during this time of isolation that some of us are going through different milestones. Some of us are celebrating birthdays. I know Jana turned 18 in isolation. Beth Whitcamp turned 21. So there's some big milestones there. Last week, Mark talked about Kevin and Karen Futter's 58th wedding anniversary, and no doubt that they celebrated that in unique style in isolation. But we want to hear your stories and celebrate with you in this journey. Even though we're stuck in our bubble, we still want to hear what you guys are up to and what the stories are, and we can celebrate that together. So send us those emails, stories@orewabaptist.org.nz. We also know that this is a time of worry and a time where some of us might have a bit of need. So we also want to encourage you guys to get in touch with us if you have any prayer requests, or if there's something that perhaps someone at the church can maybe help with, doing a grocery run or something like that. Email us your requests at prayer@orewabaptist.org.nz, and our pastoral care team and our staff will jump on that. We will leap into action. Cool. All right, Bianca, do you want to tell us, as a creative and as a mother, what are some of your life hacks? What are some of these top tips that you have to keep the kids growing and learning and not driving us absolutely bonkers?
Well, Jordan, the thing is, you put the kids in the room, shut the door, and walk away. That's my advice.
I've done that several times. Put Netflix on and walk out.
I'm joking. What I've been doing is similar to Dee. I've copied the daily routine of the preschool or the daycare that the children go to, so that I keep them in a routine and plan activities in advance, like water play, painting, building things. At the moment, the kids are helping Billy build a tree house, and it's kept them busy, and they help paint their tree house. So definitely, there's definitely a lot of things that you can do with the children inside and as well outside. But like Dee said previously, Pinterest is a really good platform to start when you're looking for something. I've also, whenever I need to cook dinner, I put the kids in front of YouTube. There's some wholesome things to watch on YouTube, and that keeps them busy. And especially if I need to attend to something more urgent. And the kids have enjoyed FaceTiming other children, their friends and cousins and grandparents and other family members. So that has kept them busy. Yeah. You mentioned
YouTube there and some of the wholesome things on YouTube. What were some of those things that other parents might take advantage of? I mean, myself even.
Well, Ruben, I don't think.
I'm looking forward to it. Go on. What have I got?
I don't think it's your age group,
Nah, I'm sure.
But it's Superbook. Superbook is this lovely children program, a cartoon. They jump into the Bible, and the Bible takes them to a story within the Bible. And the children's really been enjoying watching Superbook, especially at nighttime before bed. And then we read the Bible or the story in the Bible afterwards. And then just nursery rhymes and things that the children love. Israel loves Blippi. I don't know if you've heard of Blippi. It's an American guy who acts really silly, and Israel just loves him. He does shows on dump trucks, planes, boats, and yeah, just really kids
Right
stuff.
up my alley. Boats and dump trucks. That's a bit of me in the planes.
Yeah, well, visit his website.
There is some really cool resources out there at the moment. It's one that's a Christian New Zealand-made TV show called Blalo.tv. It is fantastic. I've even stolen a few ideas from it for a youth group, even though it's aimed at a much younger age, because they have some incredible games and funny stuff, but really encouraging. It's based out of the Cool Bananas ministry in New Zealand here, which is mind-blowing. Netflix has the new VeggieTales, believe it or not. So if you have Netflix, VeggieTales is on there. It's really, really awesome. Dee, can you tell us about what OB Kids is up to at the moment during this strange sort of lockdown time?
Yeah, OB Kids, we have been, so I do a weekly email for all of our parents. And during the lockdown, I've been putting it on the parents to actually go through and do the lessons with their child. And so I've been sending out our video that you can show, questions you can ask, discussions, and how we can, we've been doing a thing called My Neighborhood. My series is called My Neighborhood, and how they can just go out and be a blessing to people in the neighborhood, even in this lockdown situation. So we had our first challenge of the week that I posed to our kids, which was to spread the love. And so actually me and the girls did it a couple weeks ago, went to Victor Eves, and we wrote different messages on the ground with chalk. So it said, Talia picked always be happy, always smile, and Stevie wanted to do good vibes, and then we did choose happy. And so, we let them draw little smiley faces and hearts and stuff. And so that was a challenge for all of our OB kids. And then, some of them have drawn hopscotch and waved because they didn't have chalk. They didn't get chalk in time for the lockdown. So I said, you can spread the love by waving at somebody or doing a big smile. And so, we've been just keeping in touch with the parents that way and making sure that they can still do kids church at home with just different questions and videos that I send them. We also have a Facebook page for the parents too. So that's just more for the parents. Some of it's for the kids too, but it's more for us to encourage one another. Vent.
Yeah.
Pray for each other, things like
all
that.
those things
so, just to let them know that they're not by themselves. You're not alone, that we're all in this together. So.
Ruben, young man. A lot of people will recognize your mug, your face from around the church for many, 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 many years. And a lot of people won't know that the fact that we are online at the moment, even right now, but also what Mark and the crew have been doing leading up to this, that we've been staying online, has been in large part due to your young knowledge and your ability to make us look half decent on camera. Which we're really grateful for, and we want to hear from you. But could we perhaps get your mother Anna on camera?
I'm sure I can arrange that for you. And Mum, we'd like to hear from you.
Oh, this is exciting. Anna, we've already alluded to your guys' quality pizza, but we're going to hear from Anna because she is a bit of a foodie. Can you hear us, Anna? Welcome to Here's God on Monday.
Hi.
We welcome to the show. We're so stoked to have you and to have Ruben joining us this morning. But Anna, we just want to ignore your son for a minute.
Yeah.
We want to ignore Ruben for a minute.
Well.
And we want to just know, you're a foodie. You make some incredible pizza. I've also been lucky enough to indulge in some of your other sweets and other foods. During this lockdown period, what would be your top tip or your top recipe or your top food skill that we could all glean from you, the food foodie?
I'm not sure if I really fit that description, but anyway, I'm enjoying the time and the space to be able to try and be resourceful with food and try and make things go a little bit further. We might have leftovers from the night before, and I think about what I can add to that to maybe make it to another meal that night. Sorry, Ruben. So yeah, just being resourceful and using up things that have maybe been sitting around a while that I could be inventive about how to use it. The pizza that Ruben's referring to is a no yeast, well, it actually does have yeast in it, but doesn't have to rise. You don't have to wait. You just make it up like a scone mixture, and bake it up, and then you use it, and it makes a big, full sort of oven dish size.
I ate that pizza for like 3 days. It would feed a family for a couple of days. Honestly, it was so good.
Wow.
Yeah, but it does use flour, so I know flour's hard to come by at the moment, so that's the only downside to it. But I can pop that recipe up on whatever you do with this.
Yes.
That'd be lovely. Yes.
Love pizza
It's
in our house.
so quick as well.
Yeah,
You don't have to
really-
wait for it to rise.
It's quite a bready sort of base. It's a light, fluffy, bready base, and it does rise when it's in the oven, so it does come out quite fluffy.
Oh.
And it's great for making with kids, right? Pizza is always a winner because kids can.
It's good to have, like, it's an instant, so if I have a group of teenagers turn up and all of a sudden they need dinner or something.
Which isn't happening at the moment,
Not at the
for the
moment.
record.
Yeah, but when it does, you've got loads on hand. If you have a few toppings you can throw on, they're not too fussy about toppings, so it's quite an instant sort of meal.
It's really nice.
The other thing I've been doing is making a lot of soups. So I have a favourite soup recipe which I'll also put up, which is very economical and it's quite refreshing. It has sliced lemons in it, and it's actually a red lentil soup. But the word lentil sometimes puts people off, but it's by the time you cook it through for half an hour or so, you don't even know that it's got lentils in it. They just
It's red soup.
Yeah, so
It's true though. This lockdown period has caused us to try new things. I would never have tried couscous, or I've tried couscous, hated it. And I have since learned to enjoy couscous. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but yeah,
all right.
it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. So so I'll put those two recipes up: the pizza base and the red lentil soup. And I just want to do another little shout out to a firm that I saw on Facebook this week, a local firm. They're based in farm, a chicken farm. They do really nice free-range eggs, and they normally supply all the restaurants and cafes in Orewa, and of course they're struggling at the moment with them moving shut. And so they put up a post on Facebook saying, "Help us save our girls," obviously the chicken, from having to be dealt to by buying them online, and they'll deliver to your door or to the letterbox. Or you can go and pick them up, and it's only just in Waitoki, so it's local. So I've already ordered my 30 eggs to go and pick up tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Oh yeah, we'll get that. We'll get all those links in the description, wherever that goes below, I think, in the videos. Yeah, it's cool. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for joining us this morning and gleaning your expertise and lending us your son as well, who has been a massive blessing to us through this really crazy time. So thank you. Ruben, while you're there, mate, do you want to tell us, all right, so along with being the young face and getting us up and running, you're also a leader at Orewa Baptist Youth, and you do a whole bunch of other things. You're a musician, and we see you up on stage quite a bit in our regular church service style. But you're also one of the regulars as part of our young adults ministry.
Yeah.
And we have just started a devotional, a study called Where's God on Monday. And it challenges our ideas around God in the workplace. It challenges our theology and our ideology and our cultural ideology around what is work. And so we've just started this devotional, and bro, we'd like to hear from you. What was impacting on that from this book initially for you, bro?
Totally. So as Jordan said, we've only just started it. I'm really looking forward to kind of diving a little bit deeper into it. But it's just talking about, like, you know, people, it starts off with listing 5 different kind of family scenarios of, like, he works an 80-hour week but finds it hard to, and like just kind of 5 different scenarios. And it points out that in each one of these, someone asks, what do you do? You automatically tell them about your paid regular day job. And that's not necessarily kind of what we should be thinking about. You know, what do you do? Like, what keeps you happy? What motivates you? What are you spending your time and passionate about? Maybe would be a better answer. And it's really interesting for me, especially right now. I've come out of study last year, and I'm trying to forge a freelance career in filmmaking and screen production and stuff like that. So if someone asks me what I do, that's what I do. I'm a filmmaker. Yet I still work a part-time retail job at MacPack. So it's a really interesting time for me to be looking at this kind of thing, because I am kind of like in between jobs, and, you know, MacPack is my job, but it's not what I do. And especially right now, MacPack has stopped for 4 weeks or so, but youth group hasn't, filmmaking hasn't, and I would kind of be more inclined to say that that is what I do. Like, that's more what I'm passionate about. So yeah, it's a really interesting time at the moment, eh?
Yeah, I really like this, the challenge that the book lays down, that that God is always working, and we compartmentalize work into our job.
Yep.
And how we earn money and in the marketplace, and we don't consider it that we are created as working beings, and that we worship through work.
Well, one of the quotes in the first 2 chapters, which I really like, is, "We are workers because we are made in the image of a God who works." And I just think that's really cool. Like, we are working beings, and our job shouldn't define our work and what we do. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, I really liked how he mentions in the book that God rested on the 7th day, but that wasn't because he was tired. It was so that he could appreciate the work that had gone in, and his creation that had come. And I thought that's really cool, because we don't often take the opportunity to consider the work that God is doing through us, and when God is working outside of our 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and we forget about taking him with us when we jump in the car on a Monday morning. And in this time we're in right now, where the days are kind of all blurring together, and I don't know what time it is, and it's really kind of tough to differentiate and stuff, and to forget. Kind of forget where God is in all of that, and we can't just rock up to church on a Sunday morning, and we need to be on the lookout, and what is God doing in our hearts, and what's he doing in our lives at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I just want to finish up by asking all of you, where have you seen God in this time of isolation, as things have kind of gone into this really chaotic and crazy time, and our priorities have kind of shifted potentially away from church and God a little bit? Where have you seen God active, and what's he been up to in your journeys at the moment? Anyone want to go first?
I can go first.
Go on.
Do you me or you?
Go ahead.
You, Bianca, or you?
Okay. Actually, Vinny and I, we saw the email that was sent out on Tuesday about the from the OBC prayer group about the National Day of Fasting and Prayer, and we actually logged on at nighttime on YouTube to see the live streaming of prayer and worship. And it was pretty amazing and an uplifting experience, seeing so many Christians around the nation and also outside of New Zealand that logged on to it and watched it and were sending out through requests, and we're praying together for the nation, praying for healing, praying for peace. And it was an amazing experience being part of it, because I kind of realized that I always knew that, but it's become more prevalent now during these times, that the body of Christ isn't just the church, our church, but it's much bigger than our church. It's the whole nation and other nations coming together and having one, coming under one rule and praying for the same thing. So it's been amazing just being part of that and realizing that we're not alone in this, and that there's heaps of other people out there who's going through the same thing, and we just need to keep praying and keep our light shining. So I've really enjoyed that.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Dave, you got something?
Yeah, I've been doing this parenting for faith course online, and I kind of have told the parents of OB Kids to, if they want to check it out, they can. And that has been really, it's good stuff that you kind of already know, but it's been more eye-opening to me during this time that we are the greatest influences for our children. And so in my life and in my walk with God, I've just been thinking more about how am I showing God to my kids, and what do they see through me? How do they see Jesus through me, and how do they see God through me? And just through this course has been really eye-opening that you just bring God in every single day when you're walking out. So the other day we were walking at the beach, and I just kind of said, hey, isn't it so amazing that God has made this beautiful beach, and the beautiful sun, and that we have life, and that we're breathing, and we can walk out here, and we can enjoy this kind of stuff, and just bringing little things to kind of frame for them what who God is, and that we're just bringing him into our everyday life. And so that has been a big thing for me, is going through this course and actually seeing God working in my life to help my children to also know that God isn't just on Sunday, but that he, he's not somebody that you just pray to at night and, before you eat, but that every day we're always talking about him and bringing him in and saying, oh, isn't this cool? Or, if something's frustrating me, I can just stop and pray and, maybe pray out loud or say, oh man, Jesus, I really need your help. Can you please help me with this? Or, it's been kind of a work in progress these last 10 days or 11 days. But seeing God working through me that way has been a big thing. But, just even in the little things like the sun, I'm so grateful to God for the sun.
For sure.
The little things out the sun so that we can actually go outside and enjoy, our fresh air instead of staying inside. And
yeah, for sure. The little things are huge, I reckon, in times like this. And I've been fortunate this week to have from both ends of the generational spectrum within OBC, where I was talking to Neville Nielsen the other day, and we were just talking about how God has blessed us and how he's using us and our church during this time. And Neville was just ringing to say, hey, I've got these Bibles if people need them. And I was got to share with him about how the youth group on Wednesday night had been able to worship together online through this. And we all know Neville loves worship and song. And so being able to hear his encouragement at the youth group and to hear that he was excited by that. But then also having my son the other day just run up and just randomly said, Jesus is alive, Dad. And I was like, oh, the Easter story wrapped up there in a matter of a few words, and it's just, those little things are really, really exciting and a real blessing. One of the things that we've been challenged with, Ruben, when we talk about the youth group, is how do we continue mission in this time where face-to-face is really, really difficult.
And that's something that I'm finding really cool. Like you mentioned, to Neville, but was that the youth group is still having a regular meeting, playing some games, having some worship, and it's almost like nothing's changed. Like, we're still this awesome group of young people, and it's really cool to see them all there and passionate about it. Like we've got 25-ish people on a Wednesday night tuning into Zoom, and I think that's just really cool that it's, to the youth group, it's not all about hanging out and being with their friends on Wednesday night. They get to still join in and have some music and play some games. And it's been really cool seeing that on a Wednesday night, which is awesome to see.
That was one of the biggest blessings for me as the youth pastor when the level 4 got announced, and having just these texts and messages come in from heaps of our young people going, what are we going to do about Wednesday? We got to continue something. So these young people are keen to keep worshiping together, keep learning and growing, and they're doing that series at the moment called Apart Yet Together, which is all via Zoom and via their small group leaders and stuff. And so it's really cool. I mean, is there anything else you guys want to share before we lock up, finish up?
I think just our community is so cool because we had so many people just checking in and hearing how we're doing, and and I think God can be seen in that as well, in all the encouraging texts and the phone calls, the FaceTime, even this. I think it's very beautiful, and I think it's very necessary to have in the community.
Yeah. I think this lockdown has come at like a perfect time. I think there's been so much activity, just not me, but everybody's going, and it's just been a nice, a welcomed kind of break to just kind of slow down and kind of what you're talking about, Ruben, about slowing down and being able to actually see what really matters, like your family time and just doing things. Like I always would say, oh, it would be nice to all go on a bike ride one day. You know, you just have all these like great ideas, and you save all these things to your Pinterest board, and then you never get around to it. But actually being able to take this time to spend it with your family and do things that you don't usually do, or you don't usually have the time to do. And I think it's been a real blessing to be able to take this time, take this short break, to savor it and to connect with each other again, and even online. And it's been a good.
You're bang on too about the blessing it is at home. My wife and I have finally, I'm a strengths finders coach, and my wife and I have finally got to sit down and do her top 5 coaching, which has been a massive blessing, to spend sort of just 90 minutes or 2 hours, just the 2 of us. We assume the kids were okay, while we had this coaching session, and it was a real blessing for us. We haven't got to do that for so long. So
it's
massive.
It's cool seeing the amount of people that are really making the most of the time. I mean, like the day before lockdown, I think lockdown got announced, and then kind of on Monday or Tuesday, I knew that there's something that I wanted to get so that I could spend the time on it during lockdown. I wanted to get some shelves for my room so I can start organizing my camera gear and stuff. So I was in Bunnings walking around with like this really long trolley trying to maneuver in through the shelves, and some guy let me into the queue because he could see that I was struggling with it there, and he goes, "Oh, that shelf doesn't look like it could last you 4 weeks." I'm like, "No, hopefully I find something else." And he's got paint to do his whole house. He's just like, "Right, 4 weeks, I'm going to use it." He's gonna spend that time wisely. He's going to paint his house, which is cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just want to thank you guys for joining us this morning. And we're going to close with a prayer. We just want to remind you guys out there that we want to hear your stories. We want to hear how God is active in your lives during this time. We also want to hear if you have prayer requests and needs that perhaps we can help with. So email us at stories@ottawabaptist.org.nz or prayer@ottawabaptist.org.nz. We do acknowledge that this is, whilst it is a huge blessing, it can also be a lot of hard work, and a lot of us are going through some really tough times as families, as individuals, and there's a lot of anxiety and stuff out there. So we do want to support each other and get around each other with that sort of stuff. If you don't mind, I'm going to close for us with a karakia, and then we will see you next Monday. God, we just come before you and we thank you for this time together. May those who have got to listen, whether it was live or after the fact, Lord, may you bless them. May they be encouraged by the stories that we're hearing, of the way that you are active and working even through this sort of time. Lord, we pray for OBC, and we thank you for the community of believers that we have around us. Lord, may you inspire us with your creativity, to be passionate about your word and about your spirit, be passionate about prayer and leaning in on you in this time. We can feel a little bit alone. Lord, we just thank you for what you are doing. And Lord, we just ask that in this time, may you empower us to lay down a legacy, if you will, of who you are in our community, and help us to bring hope to those who need it right now. Lord, we thank you. May you go before us and guide us. In your awesome name, amen. Thank you, everybody. Aroha nui, and we will see you next Monday here at Where's God on Mondays.
Woo. Make it, guys.